It's been 4 years since we have last been here on Dinosaur Island. The island still remains standing as one of the most unknown islands in the Caribbean, but it's still home to the most magnificent animals the world has ever seen: the dinosaurs. On this season of Dinosaur Island, we will see the drastic changes of the island and how the dinosaurs from last season handle these changes. However, new invaders may threaten the balance of the island, and new challengers arise to challenge our old friends on this season of Dinosaur Island. It's been 4 years since we have been here on this familiar scene. 4 years ago, we left off with both Chris the Stegosaurus and Mark the Tyrannosaurus Rex with heavy injuries after their massive battle with each other. Well, here we are, once again, in the presence of Chris and Kate, as the herd of Stegosaurus are back on the plains once again to eat. Surprisingly, Bullseye is still the leader of the herd, as the Homocephaly and the Introceratops move on with either heading into the forest or grazing with the Stegosaurus herd. Chris's injured leg has been fully healed, and he feels like the event never occurred to him. However, today is a special day for Chris and Kate. As they will now be kicked from out of the herd by Bullseye. For a herding animal such as Stegosaurus, the alpha male will drive off any older siblings he has bore to continue on the species on the island. So, Chris and Kate will no longer have the protection of a herd anymore. Which means that they could be vulnerable to an attack from a predator. But luckily for them, predators have already had their fill. Dennis has finally got himself not only a new pack member, but also a mate as well, in now Sally the Utah Raptor. Sally, much like Dennis, had a pack once, but was killed off by another pack of Utah Raptors. So now Dennis and Sally see each other as another pack as they bonded quickly over those 4 years since we have last saw them. Dennis is now no longer hunting alone for his next meal, and is once again a completely healthy Utah Raptor. In the coming week or so, they will move away from the plains to mate and seek refuge in the forests. Speaking of which, in the forest, Bessie, the female Ceratosaurus, has finally been able to raise a child from her old nest. The other 2 eggs were not so lucky. As for the remaining child, Bruce is only about 3 years old. So for Bruce, Bessie isn't going to be pushing him away from his mother anytime soon. As for Bessie, she will need to hunt more often to keep her and her baby well fed. So, Bessie goes off for a hunt, despite the fact that she has to leave Bruce behind, unguarded. Even though Ceratosaurus can take on smaller sauropods such as Camarasaurus, Bessie only needs to bring back food for Bruce. So she zeroes in on a homolephaly and she strikes. She has gotten a decent meal for her little one. However, someone else shows up to ruin the kill. It's an Allosaurus. Allosaurus are known to kill Ceratosaurus, and this one seems to be no different. She returns to the nest, bleeding, but she managed to bring her baby Bruce home some food. Bessie will then go out later to hunt for herself, but for now, she must rest knowing the real challenge is yet to come. As for the island, The first change is what we are about to see right now. This area was once the river that you saw in the last season. And this is still where Bloodshot and the herd of Triceratops remain. Even though the river is empty of life, Bloodshot knows that one day it will fill up again, and he will prove to the doubting herd that water will return. Bloodshot is now very old, and even he won't be challenged by his younger bulls in the herd. He shows his strength off by scaring the local herbivores away from the area. However, there is still one important individual that we haven't seen for all these years until now. Mark. Mark has made a huge improvement in his life. This once teenage Tyrannosaurus Rex is now an adult. Mark has been living in between the plains and the forest, looking for food for himself. But now he sees a familiar face on the plains. Chris and Kate. From that battle, Mark was humiliated, and some of his injuries have not even fully healed from that fight. Mark knows that he will get his revenge someday, but not today. He has decided to hunt in the forest for food. Mark, now that he's an adult Tyrannosaurus Rex, can take down much larger prey than what he's used to hunting. Mark locks in on a Chasmosaurus. This large male has been heavily injured during a fight with another Chasmosaurus for mating rights. Mark has the advantage of surprise and weakness in the Chasmosaurus that he strikes. Even though Mark has made the final kill, there is always another predator waiting for that opportunity. The same Allosaurus that attacked Bessie earlier tries to fight Mark for that piece of food. However, Mark is much bigger than the Allosaurus, and he strikes at him too. Mark has won the battle and claims his prize. However, another predator tries to get a piece of the food. Bessie. Mark very much remembers Bessie when he tried to steal one of her eggs from last season. Bessie knows that Mark is much bigger than her and that he just killed the Allosaurus that attacked her earlier. Bessie doesn't challenge Mark for the Casosaurus, but instead tries to go for the Allosaurus. Mark doesn't care, and Bessie drags away the Allosaurus for her own feast.